Woo! Happy Friday. It's Friday, March 6th. Can you believe it? We're in the third month of the new year, and there's so many wars and so many airstrikes and so many things to talk about, Ted. So
It's
many
true.
things to talk about. It's just,
True.
I can't, that's what's getting us through the year. Like, we're already in the first, almost done with the first quarter of the new year. I can't believe it. Robbie says we got to get to an ad right away. I'm Manila Chan. That's Ted Rawl. You're tuned in to the Ted Manila Information Show. Deprogrammers, sit tight. You're in for some laughs and in a dark sense of humor kind of a way.
Well, we do have some serious stuff too. So today
We do, but we always manage to make light of the worst things in the world here on this show.
It's the best way.
Monday through Friday, 10 a.m. Eastern time. Please hit that like button. All right. Robbie says we got to do this right off the top. All right. So today's sponsor, Chicago Steak Company, and they're giving away 4 free steaks with every order. Use this code BPSIR free. Okay. So do you ever buy steaks at the grocery store and it's just a total gamble? Yes. You're standing there staring at this shrink-wrapped mystery cut, trying to figure out which one might actually be decent. And half the time you get home, you cook it and fine, but it's nothing special. Chicago Steak Company, though, is the opposite of that. All USDA prime and upper choice, hand-selected by butchers in Chicago, hence the name. Wet-aged 28 to 40 days, vacuum sealed and shipped on dry ice right to your door. Every cut is actually hand carved. Old school way. There's no guesswork there. So here's the part that I really like. If you spend $199 or more, any steaks, your choice, you use that code BPSIR free. BP Sir free. And they'll throw in four bourbon peppercorn sirloins for free.
Stop. You're making me so
you get
hungry.
Free shipping. These are 6-ounce top sirloins with a cracked peppercorn and bourbon rub. Lean, beefy, bold flavor. Throw them on that hot grill and they're done in just a couple minutes. It's $160 worth of free steaks. 15,000 5-star reviews. These guys are the real deal. Go to mychicagosteak.com/rumble. Use that code BPSIR, BP Sir, free. That's BPSIR free. Link is over in the description. Again, we're all beefy fans here. The baby Ted likes the beef.
We're not so veganism does not have a home on the TMI show.
I know. We've tried. Ted tried for he got duped into trying for 2 years.
2 years, it's true. Yeah. I was smarter, but it really wasn't worth it. But I mean, after all, it's America. I mean, it doesn't pay. The stupider you are, the more you get paid. So I probably should eat more meat. You
fail up in DC, at least. I don't know about New York, but
are you kidding?
Fail up.
Manila, I can't. I mean, in all seriousness, kidding aside, I can't tell you how many times I've in office contexts it's been made very clear to me that if I were less intelligent, I would have been promoted. I was threatening to people because not because I was going to stab them in the back or hurt them or anything,
because you're competent,
just by being smart, just by being competent, then other people might look bad and they're like, oh, we can't have this. This guy's he's like the Chinese kid in the physics class. He's running up the curve. So I've got to shiv him.
Like, fuck that guy.
Yeah, it's true.
Give this mofo in gym class, man.
Yeah, get him, nail him.
Yeah, that's the world we live in, a world of underachieving, and that's celebrated because it's America.
It's mandated.
Hey, this is not a part of the rundown, not a story I put in there, but I just read it, and I gotta say, obviously we know, the special military operation, the war in Ukraine, whatever you want to call it, in Ukraine. So it's still ongoing, right? There's all kinds of crazy stories coming out of there still. The front line is no longer the main story out of the war, Ted. It's all of these side dramas literally outside of the front that is, like, grabbing headlines now.
Like what?
For example, the Russian drones that they're using, uh,
Mm,
because if this is a war of attrition and the West, at least under Joe Biden, was trying to drain Russian resources because they figure, "Oh, the Russian resources are much more limited than ours, so we're gonna drain the Russians." The Russians apparently have devised these cheapy drones that some say are supplied by Iran, um, and they're using this technology that's like a $200 technology, of this. I don't know how to explain it because I'm not a sciencey engineering person, but it's like basically like this plastic or plastic ball with like tin foil almost, that basically when American Patriot missile systems, and because we gave those to Ukraine, zero in on things in the sky, that cheapy $200 investment of a ball basically takes the radar and kind of, I don't know what it does to it, but it bounces back the feed back to the systems that Ukraine has and tells it it's not a drone, but it's a giant, like, fighter jet. And so you send out this multi-million-dollar missile, pew, right, like Patriot,
yeah.
go shoot down a $200 drone.
That is brilliant. That reminds me of this story that I never
Brilliant.
get tired of
Brilliant.
in Afghanistan, where this is during the 2001 U.S. invasion. The U.S. stupidly seemed to think that the Taliban had jets. Okay, they never had a single. They had no planes. Okay, they
Of
basically
course.
didn't even have cars.
They
So
didn't even have closed-toed shoes.
right, exactly. But they thought they had planes. So I met these dudes, and their business was that they set up lights on a flat area that would make it look like there was a landing strip. No plane, but basically like the lights that would be on a landing strip.
Right.
The U.S. would bomb the shit out of it with multi-million-dollar cruise missiles and everything. And then these dudes would then gather all the scrap metal from our bombs, put them on carts, drag them over the mountains, and sell them at the bazaar in Pakistan for like,
Oh my God.
$80 or whatever.
So they put out like Christmas lights on the
yeah, basically
$10 Christmas lights on the runway.
So it wasn't even an attempt to drain the American military industrial complex.
They want recyclables.
But it was just like, but I was like, so you're converting. It's sort of like, when
Brilliant.
burglars would break in the 80s, would break into your car and steal your radio, and it costs you like $1,000 to get a new radio,
Right.
but they'd get $14 for it
I
when
know.
they fenced it.
For your
And
Radio
you're kinda
Shack
like,
radio.
It's like dude, just approach me. I'll give you $30 not to break into
Right.
my car. But
Right.
yeah, no, it's very funny.
Yeah, that's basically the same thing. So, like, the Russians, like, that's been a new discovery. It's just
Awesome.
they're just wasting Patriot systems on
Well,
like
the
a toy
American
drone.
way is to just spend throw money like at defense issues, right? Always just like more and more money, and like, but there's a lot when your adversary
Brilliant,
has
though.
deep pockets, then you look for. Not that the Russians are broke by any means, but I mean,
But this is smart.
We've been
Like,
reading that, but like, yeah, like why not? Yeah, it's really brilliant. I love it.
It's a trick fighter jet. Because the radar system bounces back and reads it as, oh, this is a fighter jet in the air.
Yeah, this is worth investing a big missile.
A $2 million missile on. Pew! And
yeah.
you send it up, and
that's one less missile that the Ruskies have to worry about.
That's correct, and that was the whole point of this. So I thought that was funny. And then another story I read about a Ukrainian oligarch's son. It's in the New York Post. Gruesome story. This Iranian, Ukrainian, a Yuki, the oligarch's son, some 28-year-old, douche guy.
Yeah.
Yes.
Major douche, I'm sure.
So you can guess he's a 28-year-old douche rich kid from Ukraine,
Mhm.
is partying in Bali with his influencer girlfriend.
Oof.
He's the son of a billionaire, right?
Where are the great white sharks when you need them? You
Well,
know?
so they're partying in Bali
Mhm.
recently for the new year, and she posts a picture and leaves her location on by accident.
Uh-huh.
He gets kidnapped by Ukrainian mobsters. He sends out videos under duress, obviously, begging his parents
For money.
for ransom
For
money.
ransom, yeah.
Multiple videos were apparently released, and this is apparently, like, vetted. First he's losing fingers, then a whole hand, then
But
legs.
he hasn't been chopped up yet.
No. Now they have just found his decapitated head in Bali. Traced back to some, like, really fancy villa, and
So these people didn't pay.
so his fucking parents didn't pay.
Oh my God. That is like the crazy. Do you remember when the Red
Oh.
Brigade, or were you too young? The Red Brigade kidnapped. Yeah, you weren't even born when they kidnapped John Paul Getty III.
Oh, no, I don't
Do
know
you know what
that
I'm
story.
talking about?
John Paul
So
Getty?
John Paul
As in the
Getty,
museum?
as in the museum, yeah. John Paul Getty was, of course, obviously the scion of he's a giant oil baron.
Right.
And so John Paul Getty III was his playboy, worthless son. And the Red Brigade kidnapped him. They were a radical Marxist group of the kind that used to be common in the 1970s, back when we had real politics. And they kidnapped him and basically, demanded a lot of money. His father didn't really, who is the coldest of all cold fish, refused to pay. So the Red Brigade mailed his son's ear to him. And so then he still didn't want to pay, but basically, like, he kind of like came to understand there was so much pressure on him. Like, you look like such a shithead. Everyone's going to boycott your businesses. You have to pay. So ultimately, he paid to get his son back, but he didn't really care that much about his son. He didn't want to pay. So this story
At least he only
reminds me of
lost an
that.
ear. Well,
Yeah,
this guy,
it's going to be hard for that Ukrainian guy. Look, I know he was a douche.
Who, the dad?
No, the kid. It's going to be very hard for him to get by without that head.
Yeah. I mean, you can do without an ear. I don't know about the head. But I mean, and it's like some ritzy resort area of Bali. I mean, I've never been, but I feel like much of the island is. I would love to go to Bali, but it looks like much of it is.
I've been there a long time ago, so
Really?
I think it's one of those parts of the world that changes very quickly. So
I know Tony Robbins owns a small island, one of the Balian islands.
Yeah, when I went, it was still old Bali, there, where like it was like hippies and like yoga retreats.
Oh, wow.
And
yeah, I don't think this was that.
Buddhists.
But how he got kidnapped was, as police have discovered so far, is because his influencer girlfriend left her geolocation. Yeah.
Is she around, or did she also? Well, in her case, she would not need her head to survive, but clearly,
just the neck down.
It's so unfair, really. The person who needs his head doesn't have the head. The person who didn't have a head in the first place still has
it.
Yeah.
So what a gruesome story! Like all this Ukrainian, like gruesome. But as you know, Ted, it's not like that boy was carted off to fight.
No, of course not.
Like the other Ukrainian boys.
No, that wasn't going to happen. He was too rich.
He wasn't going to get kidnapped to go to the front line, like, Joe Schmo at the,
the press
at the
gang.
pizza parlor.
Mm-hmm.
Some kid, the pizza delivery boy is going to get kidnapped, on one of his pizza routes to go to the front line. That's what really pisses me off. And they already know it's like, it's not Russians, because the boy said so, like said whatever gang it was. It was some Ukrainian mobster. And he wanted dad to please send $10 million. That's,
dad
you're
refused.
A billionaire oligarch. $10 million is nothing.
Well, I mean, you might try to drive a hard bargain or whatever, but I mean, I don't know. I mean, how rich of an oligarch was he? I mean, how do we know he had the $10 million?
I don't know his name. I looked it up earlier. I can't remember.
I mean, it's true. $10
Netherlands,
million isn't
no.
really that much money.
No, if you have $1 billion,
I mean, a lot of
the
people
life of
who
your kid,
maybe are listening probably know someone or who has a house that's worth $10 million. You know what I mean? So
yeah, yeah. I mean, in
maybe
LA,
not,
I know
maybe not a
several people.
lot. Some, I know some.
Several people. But anyway, so that's the news out of Ukraine. Like I said, people are so over that war, and Vladimir Putin is sitting back, eating popcorn, watching what's happening here. But the Ukraine war is like passe, and like Zelensky's got to look for his exit plan, man, lest he
Yeah, I
be
mean,
in
weapons are
Bali.
being. I mean, and NATO's, all the frogs and the Brits, the Krauts, they're sending the weapons that they used to be sending to the Z-Man. They're going to be sending it, off to the Middle East instead.
Yeah,
So
yeah. He better figure it out quick. I mean,
yeah,
just take this oligarch son's, misadventures as a lesson.
I mean, I think
So
Zelensky's already lasted longer than I would have expected. He's past his
me
due
too.
date.
Oh, for sure, for sure. I say he's headed to Lake Como to his house very soon.
I agree with that.
In Italy. All right, let's get to these reads real quick. Okay, the story that we've been following, more gruesome stories, Ted, because it's Friday. Why not? Congressman Tony Gonzales at Uvalde, Texas, right? He just dropped out of the race last night.
For re-election.
For re-election, for his primary. Yesterday was like the last day. So it's been a busy year, obviously, for congressional retirements, people just giving up their seats, just not wanting to be in Congress anymore.
Well, Congress
I can't blame them.
sucks now. Yeah.
It sucks, man. Some departures, however, stand out more than others. On Thursday night, Republican Representative Tony Gonzales of Texas announced he'd be dropping his bid for re-election. The news caps this tumultuous week.
Speaker Mike Johnson sort of was like, dude.
Well, he was like,
gotta go.
Yeah. So Gonzales of Texas was pressured to end his career ahead of his primary race. But at first, if you guys have been listening to the show, Congressman Gonzales was shrugging off the rumors of the affair and whatever with his aide at one of his Texas office, like his actual office back home in Texas. But with the numbers coming in, his chances among local voters after all this news broke, he garnered roughly 42% of the vote. He didn't get any ringing endorsements of anybody. The guy that's running against him, Brandon Herrera, got 43%. So they're kind of neck and neck, but nobody got 50%. So they have to advance to the May runoff. So now he's dropping out of that runoff. So I guess the Republican will be Brandon Herrera from Uvalde, Texas. But then his troubles went from bad to worse because the House Ethics Committee announced that they were moving forward with this investigation into Gonzales, scrutinizing whether he had sexual misconduct with an aide in his hometown congressional office, which we've talked about here. That aide, I think her name's like Regina something. It appears because Regina's husband.
You're saying that like Regina's vagina was not where it was supposed to be?
No. Well, I think the sad part about Regina in his home office in Uvalde was that her husband released all these text messages last week.
Ugh.
And it seems to show.
That's disgusting. You know how I feel about that. Like, okay, I understand, she's a tramp and a harlot and blah, blah, blah.
And they're going through an ugly divorce.
But you just don't fucking do that. These are private communications. You just don't do that.
Well, he was showing how Congressman Gonzales was pressuring her into, taking up his sexual advances. And she was kind of the victim, obviously, in the same way Monica Lewinsky was victimized by Bill Clinton, an older man pressuring this young mom.
I think the Monica thing is a little more gray than that. But
Yeah, end of the day, it's the whole
I
power
mean, remember she
imbalance.
told her mom she was going to Washington with her packing her presidential knee pads.
Oh God, gross. But even still, the whole point is Monica was a 22-year-old girl,
Yeah,
you
she's an
know, like
adult. She's a
yes, but the
fucking
power
adult.
imbalance is there,
Blah blah
and
blah. She's a
that's
fucking grown adult. If
it's
she can't
true.
be trusted to be in charge of her own pussy, then how the fuck is she allowed to have a driver's license? She's fucking
It's
20.
different.
I mean,
It's
seriously,
easy for a man to
she's
say that.
fucking 22 years old.
It's easy for a man to say that.
Yeah, it
It's
is. I just
very
said it.
different as a woman. It's who has been put in a very awkward situation, like I said, with Johnny Depp swooping in to save me. It's very, very different. And so obviously for this woman,
Yeah, but
I didn't fucking light myself on fire.
Monica Lewinsky, let's not forget, walked into the Oval Office and hiked up her skirt
I'm sure she's
and
a
snapped
slutty
her
22-year-old.
thong at the president. He didn't exactly. This is not what happened to you, where you had to be rescued by Johnny Depp. No one. President Clinton did not come on strong to Monica. She came on strong to President Clinton.
Yeah. So, okay. So he's the victim is what you're saying?
No, I'm saying there's no victim.
Well,
that's what I'm saying.
I'm still going to say
it's
the
literally
power
a
imbalance
victimless
alone.
crime, if it's a crime at all.
I'm saying the power imbalance alone is inappropriate, number one. But number two, for this Regina chick, that's not her case. In her case, the congressman was pressuring her into like a sexual relationship, and the text messages seem to prove that out. And then we obviously had Mike Johnson weigh in.
Wait, so I'm sorry, was she a slave? Or, I mean, she could, right? She wasn't indentured or anything. So he was the one that she could fucking leave. She could quit.
So
get a job at Wendy's
at some point before she decided to kill herself. So
if your
what
boss
happened?
if
you
your
guys
boss
don't
is
know,
a puerco, you
perv.
Quit.
If your boss is a perv, I mean, and I've been in that situation.
He's not a perv. He wanted normal heterosexual sex. If he's a pig, he's a pig.
He's a pig. He's a pig. Fine.
Yeah.
So at some point according to those text messages, she didn't pursue him. He pursued her and kept pressuring her, and she caved. Her husband found out. He left her, took the kid, and then it seems like she might have gone to the congressman and been like, I want to be with you then. My husband's left me. Like, you need to fix
this is all now. Well, you wanted me. Here I am. Yeah.
Right. And Congressman Gonzales was like,
it's not like that.
Oh, no. I'm a married congressman with 6 children with like,
I'm a loyal family man.
I have a Christian values, MAGA conservative. I can't do that.
Yeah, what are you? Get away from me, tramp.
Yeah. So then she apparently lit herself on fire at her home in Uvalde.
She decided to roll, Vietnamese monk style.
Yeah. So because of that,
talk about making talk about drama.
I mean, Ted, people say Latina chicks are hot and spicy. I don't think they meant this.
Yeah. No, I mean,
really
look,
mean of me.
I mean, God, like, it's like, what is with Latinas? Like Lorena Bobbitt, like just move on, right? Just like leave.
I know. Just it's a bad place to be. Just get out. Why can't you just end it? Just
yeah. If you're hot Latina, don't worry. If you're a hot Latina, you will
light yourself on fire.
You can find someone else. You'll be fine. Just like leave.
His congressional aide, Regina, I think her name's like Regina Santos Aviles, or something like that. But Regina Santos, I remember that much. She's a very pretty lady. She's like, and she's not a kid. She's like in her mid-30s. Mm-hmm. Like, she had everything going for her. I can't believe I don't know. I find that a little suspicious. I feel like the House ethics investigation is going to find out more.
Now that he's not running for re-election, will there still be an investigation?
Between now and when his term expires. So until the next session.
Why? I mean, normally don't these things sort of just vanish? In a situation, if the person leaving,
I'm saying
like remember George Santos? Didn't it like they stop when he decided to like leave?
He got convicted though, and they pushed him out.
Yeah, but that was in court.
So, yeah, they found out whatever as much as they were going to find out through court, through what's it called? They're the whole wow, I'm having pregnancy brain. Robbie says Matt Gaetz is a better example. What do you mean, Robbie?
Well, he was going to be investigated by Congress for diddling
right.
underage girls. And so rather than go through that, he dropped out of Congress thinking that Trump was going to slot him into the administration. Trump stabbed him in the back, and now he's working at OAN. And so there is no investigation. Congress investigates itself. If
Well-
you're no longer a member of Congress.
No, that's what I'm saying. He's still a member of Congress until his term expires, until somebody else is sworn in.
You see Robbie's
in
point,
January.
right?
Yeah, but why would they do that though if he's not going to run?
I don't know.
again?
They might. I'm just saying they might.
No, I think
mean,
they'll
if
just
they
let it
can.
go.
Okay, do you think Mike Johnson, that pillar of Christian virtue, is going to actually hold someone accountable for breaking their wedding vows?
No, I don't think it's that. I'm just curious if there's more to this story. Like, I don't know. It doesn't seem plausible to me that a 35-year-old pretty woman of all ways to kill yourself, lighting yourself on fire.
She wrecked her life.
What do you mean? What does the fire have to do with anything?
Like, I don't know. Women just don't, because if you look at suicide, not only the rates among women, not only are women less successful, but women tend to not take the most extreme measures when they're killing themselves.
Usually.
They tend to take cleaner, prettier methods.
So that there could be an open casket.
Basically, they leave notes on like don't do my eyebrows all fucked up in my casket either. Like,
I think that I don't know. I'm not in this woman's head. I don't know her, but probably what she was thinking was I set my life on fire. I burned everything down. I'm going to go out the same. I'm just going to just go out by fire because I betrayed my husband. I destroyed my family. I went after this married man with 6 kids. When my husband found out that I broke our vows, shockingly, the guy that she was sleeping with did not take her because who would exchange the mother of your 6 kids for a whore? Nobody. And so she literally burned her life down. And so I could see why she chose to go out the way that she did.
I don't know if I'd call her a whore because.
Well, what would you call it, Manila?
He stepped. What the fuck is he then, Robbie? What the fuck is he?
They both are.
Okay, so he's the one that pressured her. He's the one that pressured her, and she caved while she worked for him. So I think there is a level of victimization happening there, and it's something that you men will never understand because we are the weaker of the sexes, and that there are.
You can listen. Women can do everything that we can do, and I'm going to push back just a little bit. Women in this country hold on. Women in this country are better educated. Women in this country are earning more money. Women in this country have got more political power. Don't you come at me saying that she's a victim of the
when
patriarchy.
You whip your dick out and flop it on some woman's hand
power.
or her back or whatever, or force yourselves who are typically 20% bigger than a woman's body. When you force yourselves onto us, it's hard for us to physically get away from under you.
Okay. So
that's what you guys don't understand.
Okay, hold on.
Went on
so she
for
couldn't
months
leave.
and years, right?
She
I don't know how long it went on, but my whole point is
it wasn't one day.
That initiated. I'm saying it's not fair to call her some whore or some harlot when she didn't go after him. She was trying to push him off, and then she caved at some point.
Maybe she
didn't
playing hard
chase
to
after
get.
a married man. She just chased after some married man.
How many
That's
years?
not fair.
How many years was she
not
with
fair.
him? How many years was she with him?
It doesn't seem like it was that long.
It was at least
a
6
few months
or whatever.
Yeah.
I mean, the point is,
but it doesn't seem like it was that
Manila,
long.
I hate to say this, but okay, you have a job, and then like your boss grabs at you, right, on the job.
I fucking had that happen.
Okay, so why would you go back the next day?
I quit.
Exactly. You just made the point.
Me. But that's
me. And what makes you think that that's
I'm not saying
that's what anybody who
I don't know
would
her
do.
position.
That's what anyone would do.
I would have. No, I don't think so. I think a lot of people, we don't know their personal situations. Maybe she needed the job, maybe. But the point is,
nobody
why are
has
we
a job that they don't
her?
need, Manila. Everybody
why
needs
are we
a job.
victim blaming her when he's the one that pursued her? I'm saying it's unfair to call her
said
the
yes.
whore.
She said yes.
At some point, she
it was
caved. Yes,
consensual.
I agree.
It was consensual.
I agree. At some point, it became
It's
on
100%
her.
consensual, Manila.
He did not rape her.
But
And
I
here's
agree.
the thing.
But I'm saying the inappropriate nature of all of this began because he pursued her. It's the pursuit.
That's a technicality.
It's the pursuit is what I'm saying, which is why it'd be different. You can say Monica Lewinsky was a harlot, a whore, or whatever, because she was pursuing the president. That's not the case here.
And I can also say that Bill Clinton was a harlot and a whore for being pursuitable.
Well, he's obviously
not that
like,
being a harlot and a whore is a bad thing, but just saying
can't keep the snake in the cage. I just think it's not fair to depict this girl entirely as some, like she was trying to be a homewrecker. It resulted in that.
Well, she was.
I don't think that's what I said. It resulted in that.
But you're making it sound.
It's not fair to say that she was.
Why is it not fair?
Because she didn't pursue this. It resulted in that. But you guys won't understand because you guys have you guys are not women. You guys have not been women put in these horrible situations at work for a millennia.
Okay,
women have been working.
But Manila, you glossed right over the point, which is like, okay, I don't know, like let's just take sex out of it. Let's just say you're at work and you see something terrible going on at work. And I don't use your imagination. It could be anything not sexual. But let's say, you find out that that your boss, your company's doing something really illegal or something like that, right? You quit immediately. You leave. You don't stay.
But
you have to quit.
Situation.
Actually, I just did. Yeah, you do.
No, because you don't
have to
no,
quit.
because if you're somebody that's poor and working
everybody
paycheck to paycheck
needs a paycheck.
Most people, especially like in Uvalde, if you look at the demographics in that area, if she falls into that demographic, then they are a very blue collar working class community. She probably needed that job. And there are very few jobs that are white collar for her to have. So she probably tried to stick it out.
So you're saying
she
that
felt
basically
pressured into staying in that role. Because you're asking why she stayed in that role. I'm telling you why, the real world reasons why people stay in those roles.
Because she wanted to be there.
I'm saying it's not a good enough reason. That's what I'm saying.
You can try to you can qualify it however you want, but for her, she thought she needed to be there more than go work at Wendy's.
No, she was willing to be there. And that's why she stayed.
So she chose to stay there.
She decided I would rather bone my boss than go work at Wendy's.
And she just put up with it, and rather than work at Wendy's or Taco Bell or whatever.
She was offered a choice, and she chose, and she made her decision.
There.
So I have a question.
Yeah. But I still, it's not fair to.
He made her bed, and she laid in it.
Literally,
it's not entirely fair to blame only her. It sounds like the way Robbie's framing it is as if she's like the only person, like, oh, he's some fucking victim.
I say
like
it's
his cock accidentally fell into her vagina.
But it's 50-50. It's not like he has 51-49 responsibility.
Yeah, I mean, that's the point. That's the point that I'm making.
Right.
And here,
but there's no ill words for the congressman. You're calling her the slut and the harlot. What's the word you would use for the congressman?
Same thing. He's a whore too. And you know what? If we lived in a Christian country, they would both be executed for adultery. That's the punishment. So there's that. But now to take this a step further.
Glad we don't live in a Christian country.
I'm saying if there's more to be seen here, Mike Johnson technically has between now and December to get all the
mark my words, he ain't gonna do that.
The ugly details of whatever went down. Because there was a death involved.
There's no reason to. There's a
death involved.
So is there's a death involved with Alex Pretty and Renee Good. They haven't even been investigated by the local police.
No. But this is not within Johnson's purview. This is not George Santos swindling money from a dog campaign. This is somebody dying.
So here's the pushback that I would have. And I'm not trying to sound mean or callous or evil or like a dick. She worked for a congressman. He went after her. There is nothing that could have stopped her from going to telling her husband what happened and then going to the local media, newspaper, television, say, this is what
conference.
happened. She could have blown up his career. She
That's
could have
true.
went after him for sexual harassment. Congress has a sexual harassment slush fund. She would have been perfectly fine. She chose to spread her legs, violate her vows, and wreck 2 marriages because she wanted what he was offering. So don't make her look like a victim because she wasn't.
I don't know. You can't say that she wanted it. She took it.
I just did. Prove me
No,
wrong.
you
Did
can say
he
it.
rape her? Did he rape her?
Prove me wrong that she wanted it. Prove to me that she wanted it, other than she just took it. Taking it is different than wanting it.
She went back. She didn't
you guys,
quit. She didn't.
Is different.
I can see
than saying I'm thirsting
I can see
for
like
your
not
penis.
wanting. Look, I can see not wanting to be. I could see not wanting to do a press conference because it's like, okay, now I'm going to be fucking embarrassed, and all my relatives are going to see me, and this will live forever. But you could just, you could also. There's another way to do this that plays into Robbie's thing. You could hire an attorney. Then your attorney calls up. Your attorney calls up the congressman and says, "Listen, we're going to sue unless unless we need $1 million right now to make this go away, to settle this. And my client, Stormy Daniels, will sign a non-disclosure agreement, and you'll never hear from her again." He could have done that. She could have done that. She chose not to.
Right. But she chose not to. She chose
a different path. She wouldn't have to work at Wendy's, right?
She chose a different path. And I'm not, look, that's, again, we can't get into her head. We can't say why she chose what she chose. But she chose that path. She chose that path. That's all.
It was voluntary.
I'm not, obviously, it was, whatever the reason, whether it was pressure or otherwise, that's not the point. Yes, she engaged willingly at some point. She caved and engaged.
Adults are expected, Manila, to be able to withstand pressure. I mean, when I walk in the streets of New York City, I'm pressured to give money to beggars. But I'm an adult, and unless they have a knife, I can just ignore them or tell them to go away or just respectfully say no.
Some people are better at look. Not everybody.
That's part of being an adult.
Not everybody, especially a lot of women. Not a lot of women are Manila and are going to be like, "Fuck you! I'm going to cut your dick off." Not everybody is like that. And I need to give a shout out to Daddy of Triplets, because the comment here is, as a 45-year-old Caucasian in corporate America, we're on a death march to retirement. Women built a large hill to climb for us since the DEI movement. I'm an anomaly amongst leadership. So I think what that is referring to is probably how the Me Too movement has cowed a lot of men. And I agree.
All the white dudes. I mean, there's a record number of employment discrimination lawsuits being filed by white dudes and old white dudes. And a lot of them are successful now because instead of just having equity, which is the idea that you hire Blacks and women and people like that, in addition to who's already there, in addition to the old white guys who are already there, this is like, oh, we're going to kick out the old white guys and replace them in some cases with less qualified minorities. And that's why you're seeing these successful lawsuits. So that's what he's referring to.
Yep.
Okay. Well, anyway, I don't want to stay on this. I want to rush through the other couple of news topics, but that I think that's like, this is, I would like to see Johnson continue a little bit more and open that nut a little more and see what's in there.
Yeah, he shan't.
I'm going to be disappointed in that. I would like to
see. You will prepare to be disappointed.
And also, well, Johnson may not, but I think Regina Santos's husband will be putting a lot lot of stuff out there.
What's he going to be doing? He already released everything.
He should run for Congress.
I don't know. There's probably more. That's probably.
But I hate him. I hate him because even though he's an aggrieved party, he stopped being an aggrieved party when he released those private messages.
I think what he's doing, honestly, I think he's trying to destroy Gonzalez's career.
Yeah,
I think that's what this is.
He did.
Yeah, but I mean, not just in Congress. I mean, I think he wants to destroy him.
so that he
like
will never be
character
anything.
assassination. Like he wreck any business ventures, just utterly
Like no one will
destroy
want
the
to
man.
invest.
Make him toxic.
Well, yeah.
Correct.
Like I said, if this Regina chick were still alive, or if she committed suicide in a I don't know, a more palatable,
A kinder way.
manner, a less violent way. I mean, I
Poison.
don't know. Suicide is violent, right? I don't know. Yeah, like chicks tend to, down pills or whatever.
Yeah.
Had it not been this, he may have been able to move on and have like Congressman Gonzales, that is, and like find other, work. This is going to dog him for sure. And I don't know what it's going to do with his wife with 6 kids and whatever, but I don't know. It's just a fucking Uvalde,
mess.
Texas is fucked up. That's all apparently.
It really is. It really is.
What the fuck? Like, your cops don't show up to save children at schools.
Yeah.
You got ladies lighting themselves on fire. Like just what is God?
Yeah.
Gross. All right.
I think if you're in Uvalde, there's something in the water, man. You got to like leave.
Ugh, get out of Uvalde.
I wonder if your theory, Ted, about all the drugs in the water plays into it. Honestly, seriously, I wonder
maybe someone
if that
should check
plays
the
into
water. Check the water in Uvalde. All right, let's get to
although it sounds
one more.
Like, but
one more
that's for the
crazy
SSRIs. It sounds like she could have used some SSRIs. She wouldn't have done that.
Yeah, probably. All right, one more crazy chick at least.
Kristi Noem's time leading the Department of Homeland Security has come to an abrupt and controversial end, freeing her up to go back into the world of dog killing from whence she came. The former South Dakota governor, who entered the job promising a hardline approach to immigration and security, has now been removed from her position following a series of high-profile controversies that were building for months inside the department and on Capitol Hill. One of the most explosive issues involved fatal enforcement operations carried out by federal agents in Minneapolis, where 2 U.S. citizens, Renee Good and Alex Preddy, were killed. The incident sparked outrage and congressional scrutiny, with lawmakers demanding answers, which they never got. But that's not why Kristi Noem is out. Another major controversy is the real reason, which centered on a massive $220 million public ad campaign. That's $250 million launched by DHS that prominently featured America's favorite hair-wearing cabinet secretary, Kristi Noem herself. Critics questioned whether taxpayer money was effectively being used to promote the secretary personally. And lawmakers opened inquiries into how the contract was awarded. Inside the department, concerns also grew about the influence of political allies in Homeland Security decision-making. Corey Lewandowski, who reportedly operated as an informal power broker around the secretary, not to mention boning her on the regular, despite not holding a formal government role, raising ethics questions about who was actually steering policy. I don't know if there's any questions, really. Then there were the disaster relief delays. That was a factor. According to a Senate report, Kristi required her own personal sign-off for any large FEMA spending decisions because she was taking it all for herself. Investigators said that requirement slowed down the approval of more than 1,000 disaster aid contracts and grants, potentially delaying help to communities recovering from major storms like that one in Western North Carolina and emergencies. Civil liberties groups also raised alarms over allegations that federal authorities were tracking anti-ICE protesters. Yeah, but nobody cared about that in the Trump administration. Anyway, with Kristi out, Homeland Security is now facing a leadership reset. And of course, Manila, you know where she's going now, to the Panty Shield of America.
Yeah, I don't even know what that is. Like, Trump just made it up, I think.
The Shield of America.
Like, what is that?
It's the Panty Shield of America. It's like if you have seepage during your monthly, Kristi Noem will come to your home and personally put her claws up against your puss to keep that from happening.
Well, look, I know Trump made some soft landing cushion job for her. Mm-hmm. It's something that sounds like that.
Shield of America.
Some sort of shield of America. Like, I don't even know what that is. Like, I don't know. Is she gonna
Panty Shield?
She's gonna be the lady walking at the parades holding like the U.S. shield or whatever. I don't know. Like, I don't know. I don't know what her
so
new job
apparently
is.
it's supposedly this new thing that probably will never exist because it doesn't exist now, and there's no way to get it through Congress to get it appropriated. But anyway, it's supposedly an anti-cartel thing. Manila, we already have an anti-cartel thing. It's called the Department of Defense. So we don't need a new one, really.
Well, we have DEAs and U.S. Marshals that
there's
do
that too. Yeah, and ATF.
So
yeah,
yeah. So
although
all
ATF
right,
mainly
very
gives
confused.
the guns to cartels, so that's confusing.
Yes. So that's it's very. It's a circle jerk of
it's the
arms trade
the great cycle of life
in the U.S.
Yeah, what goes around comes around.
Can I just do one of her top highlights, Ted? Is remember a couple months back, you and I talked about how she and Corey Lewandowski, her special aide, how they tried to buy a bunch of what defunct airline was it? They tried to buy a bunch of their jets, and they realized the jets didn't come with the engines.
That's awesome. That's also and of course there was Blankygate. Don't forget Blankygate.
Right, her blanket gate was recently. She needs her blankie.
Yeah.
But then
she fired someone, a pilot, a member of the U.S. military, for forgetting her blankie.
I just can't with this woman. I'm surprised it was over a blankie. I could see her being really upset, like they forgot her curling iron.
Well, that would be a serious problem.
That's
I think her curling iron
is a death penalty offense.
It's a weapon of mass destruction.
It's a death penalty offense, man. But on top of it, okay, so the 6 jets or whatever from whatever defunct airline they were trying to buy, so that deal fell through.
Like People Express.
The deal that they did make, Ted, on one jet, turns out, did you see the most recent one? The most recent purchase?
No.
It's a fucking luxury jet, like a giant Epstein, like a Trump Force One jet, like with a bedroom. Yeah.
Well, Corey, her and Corey wanted to get busy in there. That.
Yeah. This is a luxury, like overnighter kind of a jet. Like,
by the way, that's imagery I'm never going to really want to. The idea of those
and
two boning is not a pleasant thought.
I just got to say, Corey Lewandowski during Trump 1.0, that dude is swinging way above his fighting weight, man. I mean, Hope Hicks.
Oh, right.
I don't know what it is about this guy. I mean, he must be laying it down.
Yeah, he must have. He's got game somewhere.
I mean, obviously we can't see
Either
it.
that or it's like hard. It's hard. Good men are hard to find, especially in MAGA world. So,
but hard men are good to find. But
that's what they say. I was waiting for you to pick up on that.
Yes, I picked it up. I picked up what you put down, Ted, and I think
what Corey's
looking at Corey, I would never guess that. But based on
he does look like an addled warthog who survived a couple of car crashes.
Based on his batting average here, I gotta say he must be doing something right for the ladies to.
True. Do you think they'll stay together now?
No, because he's still married to some nice lady, and she's married to Mr. Noem, who I don't know does whatever
Mr.
in South
Gnome.
Dakota. I don't know what he does. I don't know.
I mean, you have to feel sorry for him. He's America's mega cock.
I know. Yeah. People felt sorry for Mrs. Lewandowski the first term because of Hope Hicks. And now people are feeling sorry for Mr. Noem. So anyway, she's out and she's doing whatever. I'm sure she'll pick up. I don't know how much of that hair is real of hers. I don't know how much of anything.
Do you think it's all like
might be
extensions and shit?
Oh yeah. But if that is real hair, she can sell those locks for thousands of dollars.
Well, it would be like they'd be collectible. She's iconic.
Yeah. Or the lashes she can become an eyelash influencer. She can do hair influencing. She got great hair if that's really her hair.
She's got interesting
I'm not worried
hair.
about her.
Well, what do you think? Where do you think she'll go?
If it's real, it's good hair.
I think she could go back to. I mean, I think she'll just go to Fox.
Gubernatorialship? No.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, Fox. Oh, for sure. For sure. You're going to see her legs on the Fox 5 couch very soon.
Yeah, that's true.
That's my guess. All right. Let's move on. All right. Here's my local news, but I guess it's national news because it's the nation's capital. So there's this quiet battle brewing about the future of Washington, D.C. skyline, and it's pulling in everybody from
maybe
city
Washington,
planners.
D.C. should get a skyline first.
Well, here's the thing. For more than a century, the nation's capital has had one of the most unusual skylines in the world. No skyscrapers. That's because a federal law called the Height of Buildings Act, passed by Congress back in 1910, which strictly limits how tall buildings can rise in Washington, D.C. In most cases, buildings cannot exceed the width of the street that they sit on, plus thereabouts 20 feet. With an overall cap at roughly 130 feet on commercial streets and roughly 90 feet on residential streets. So the result is the city we know today.
Behind that law, what was the purpose?
The article will tell you, and it's right. Because you don't want to dwarf the monuments. That's the gist of it.
All right.
So the result is the city we know today: wide views, low skylines, and monuments dominating the horizon. But now that longstanding rule is back in the political spotlight. A new push circulating here in Washington proposes scrapping the height restrictions altogether, opening the door for actual skyscrapers
behind that
in the Capitol.
I wonder. Who would be interested in tall buildings?
What developer? Developer, Ted?
Yeah, I can't even imagine.
Here in Washington.
Someone who likes bigly buildings.
Yeah, supporters argue that allowing taller buildings could transform downtown, adding housing, office space, and economic development in a city struggling with vacant spaces after the pandemic. Mayor Muriel Bowser, who's in her final leg of her term, has floated similar ideas in the past, saying modestly taller buildings could help revive parts of the city and address housing shortages. But here's the catch. Because the height limit was created by Congress, DC cannot change it on its own. Correct. Any real overhaul would require federal lawmakers to rewrite that law. And now the issue is getting new political interest because a pro-Trump campaign circulating online has been promoting the idea of legalizing skyscrapers in Washington, even sharing mock-ups of a potential Trump Tower rising near the Capitol as part of the debate. Supporters frame the idea as modernization, turning Washington into a denser, more economically competitive city. Opponents, though, see it differently. Historic preservation groups warn that once the skyline changes, it can't be undone. Sure, it can. They argue the low-rise city.
What do you mean, sure it can? How?
Just knock it down someday. Everything gets knocked down.
Yeah, we're gonna make New York a flat city. Like, no worries, no fuss. I mean,
they argue,
how do you do that without the IDF?
They argue the low-rise city was deliberately designed to keep the national monuments visually dominant, a defining feature of the Capitol's identity. So the question Washington is now wrestling with is simple but consequential. Should the nation's capital stay the low-rise city it's been for over 100 years, or is it finally time for skyscrapers in Washington, D.C.? So as a local now, I could say, after more than a dozen years now, I would say keep the area around the National Mall low profile, right? Because then you won't obstruct the views of the monuments and whatever. But the further out you go, I would say, like, you can go height increases based on how far away from the National Mall you are. So if you're like 5 miles out from the mall, then you can be, put a Trump Tower out there. Or whatever. Who cares?
Manila, your approach is the opposite of the way that most cities obviously develop organically, and the city centers tend to have the tallest buildings, right, and then work your way out. LA is a great example of that. Mm-hmm. Downtown LA has the tallest buildings. And then you go out to Santa Monica, things are pretty short. But Paris, however, follows your thinking. They generally have kept the buildings in the city center relatively low, maybe about 10 to 12 stories at most. And then when you go out to outlying suburbs of Paris, like La Défense, That's where they allow huge 40, 50, 60, 70-story skyscrapers.
I don't think I've
So
ever seen a skyscraper in France. I've
they're
never
in
been
the
to those
they're
parts.
on the outskirts of, I mean, they're maybe not 50, 60. I mean, I'm exaggerating, but they're like 30, 40, 50 stories for sure.
Yeah,
So it's more like a suburban phenomenon in Paris.
Well, like, but then you look at like cities like London, where it's a mishmash, right, of like old, short, Gothic buildings and whatever, and then these like beaming towers, right, that are like glass and steel.
London almost seems like a city that's not zoned.
Right.
I don't know if that's true. I have no idea.
Yeah, I don't know. It's a hodgepodge of shit, but in some parts it's pretty. So like Manhattan, obviously, it's just tall. Everything's tall. Everything's up, right? Like you're always walking in the shade.
The
because of all
two
the
major
buildings.
clusters of height in Manhattan are Lower Manhattan, the financial district, Wall Street, and Midtown Manhattan around
Midtown,
and then other buildings in other parts of the city tend not to be as tall as that.
Right. I'm not saying do that to Washington, D.C., but because of the housing shortages here, and let me just say, I'm gonna say the so-called help class, right? The people that do all the shit to keep the city functioning, right? Like the servers, the people that literally physically are walking around DC sweeping the streets and whatever. The people that have like the lowest wage shit jobs around the city are the poorest people that are forced to metro in from 40 miles out.
Of course, yeah.
Because they can't afford to live near their job, and they're spending exorbitant amounts of money.
This isn't going to change
shipping in every day. No, but if they did do that, we would open the doors for more housing. Some could be Section 8 for people that have these jobs.
None of it would be.
I know,
it's like
but
they never
should.
Ever do that. What happens is
like
every time
in a Manila
it's
utopia,
such a joke.
we would consider that.
Yes, but we don't live
in my Manila zoning. If I was Mayor Manila instead of Mayor Bowser,
every single new building will be luxury high-rise condominiums.
I know.
Every last one.
I know that's not realistic, but
that's
always
what
they
how this
should
goes.
do. That
and
should
for that
be
reason,
the
I would be
caveat.
against it, just for that reason alone.
If Mayor Bowser,
I know it's a terrible thing that,
like that
so many rich people are homeless, and it's sad that they don't have enough
know.
luxury high-rise condominiums to live in, but that's okay.
Okay, so for the shits and giggles, we'll squeeze in this one last quick story, Ted. This is the one that you wanted because this explains the thumbnail, because I put the Washington DC thumbnail together, and the asteroid is for Ted.
Asteroids should always be for me. There's a new update about that so-called city killer asteroid that scientists have been tracking. You might remember this. And the latest calculations are giving astronomers a clearer picture of what's coming. The object is asteroid 2024 YR4. It's a space rock estimated to be about 200 feet wide, roughly the size of a large building. If you think about a 20-story building, 10 feet per floor, that's what we're dealing with. When it was first detected, early orbital models suggested a small possibility that it could collide in Earth in December 2032. That possibility caught headlines. But as scientists gathered more observations and refined the asteroid's path, they ruled out the idea that it would hit Earth. The data now shows that the asteroid will not hit our planet. However, there was another possibility. There is still a small chance, a few percent, that the asteroid could instead strike the moon. The moon is that other thing up in the sky sometimes during that same flyby window in 2032.
But should we care?
But 100%, you should care because, I'll tell you, a rock of that size slamming into the lunar surface would create a crater nearly a kilometer wide. Of course, you can tell by looking at the moon that this has happened before, and release energy comparable to a large nuclear explosion. The impact would likely produce a bright flash visible from Earth, which would be cool, followed by a plume of lunar debris blasting into space.
Would it be non-toxic? Because nukes are toxic. So
it's not nuclear. It's not nuclear. It's not toxic.
But like
However,
moon shit isn't toxic, right?
no, it's not. But in fact, well, the moon used to be attached to the Earth, so it's basically the same. Some of that debris could even create temporary meteor showers as fragments
That's
drift
cool.
towards the Earth's atmosphere. And I got to say, there's also a danger that some of the debris could be big enough to make it to Earth and hit Clovis on his little cat head.
Oh, well, that could be bad.
That would be bad. But scientists emphasize that now that scenario is also unlikely. The asteroid is being tracked by multiple observatories, and each new observation allows astronomers to refine the trajectory further. As the orbit becomes more precise, the probability of lunar impact could still shrink. The bigger picture is planetary defense. Astronomers currently track tens of thousands of near-Earth asteroids, constantly updating their paths to detect potential hazards years or even decades in advance. And in this case, the system worked exactly as intended. A potentially concerning object was spotted early. Its orbit was carefully calculated. There's no risk to Earth. So no muss, no fuss.
Okay, but what would we have done if the trajectory was still coming to Earth? I mean, Bruce Willis has got his whatever problem that I forget the name of the disease he has. He can't blow up the asteroid for us. So what's going to happen?
Well, it would have had to have been a scenario like that.
Like they would have blown up the asteroid if it was. I mean, who knows? Maybe that's exactly what this world needs. It's like some interplanetary threat.
Maybe
coming from, I don't know. I give up on this shit, Ted. Like there's just this floating rock, this thing, just fuck it. Just wipe it out and start over. This shit sucks.
But seriously, this shit is super big deal. I'm going to put something into a photo into the I'm going to give you a photo to see if you can put it up, because it is I think, people, we do need to take this shit very seriously, just because we're like,
because it can happen. It can really happen.
It has happened. Let me show you something. All right. So,
and then we got to go, because I got a doctor's appointment.
Oh, you got a scooch? Okay. All right, here we go. All right. Now I'm going to put it up. Okay, there we go. Image file. There you are.
If an asteroid lands in America, where would you guys want it to hit?
Austin Butner's head.
Would you want it to hit DC? Would you want it to hit New York?
There it is.
Would you want to?
I will explain what that is. So so I've been there. This is in Quebec. It is called the Manicouagan. It's in Quebec. It's in Quebec's the province of Quebec, northwestern Quebec. So this is called So what happened is, I was looking at a map, and I was on a few years ago. I was on my trip through Canada to try to avenge the wildfires. And
yes, with your son.
With my son, and I saw this thing on the map. I didn't really know what it was. I was like, oh, that's
what's this eyeball?
That's a weird. So that is a lake. Okay. And
that goes around.
It's a perfect circular lake with a big round island in the middle. And anyway, there's a research station there, and I was like, oh, well, so we stayed there. It's actually great. That's a fantastic experience.
In the pupil.
It's on the outside of the. So yeah. It's so anyway, it's very, as you can imagine, it's very remote. Anyway, I was kind of like, I decided to look into it. Like, how is it that a formation like that occurred? Well, this is one of the oldest known impact craters on Earth. It was created by the impact of an asteroid 215 million years ago during the Upper Triassic period. The asteroid was 3 miles in diameter.
Oh.
Okay.
Robbie's smiling in the background. We don't have time to fight this again, because Ted, that.
Oh yeah. Oh right. Nothing ever happened 215 million years ago. Right.
No.
But but this was a big thing. This event was part of a multiple impact event, which also involved a crater in France, another one in Manitoba, another one in Ukraine, and another one in North in North Dakota. So the effects were really dramatic at the time. So it is believed. So basically, it created this crater. It caused huge effects on regional extinctions. It's been considered a major factor in an environmental turnover. And so, basically, it was a mass extinction. It triggered a mass extinction event because of all the soot that got pumped up into the atmosphere as aerosols, and the
200 million years ago.
The skies turned dark. Everything died. All the plants died, and all the things that were eating those plants died. So most things that lived on the planet died.
That's a fun fairy tale, Ted. This.
Yes, indeed. Robbie says.
So with that,
Robbie says he's laughing about the stock market.
Yes.
What's going on with the stock market?
Well, it's tumbling
again.
It's tanking. Minus 700 apparently, thereabouts.
Man. Always never a dull moment.
So there you go. Yeah. Well, that's what happens when you start stupid wars and no one can put oil.
Oh, I think it's also the job losses, right?
And jobs. Yeah. The jobs suck.
We lost 44,000. I mean, I think people were less concerned about the jobs because, last year, because they were like, oh, a lot of that is Doge, but there's no Doge anymore. So that's not it.
No, there's.
This be real.
No, this is like the real situation is, here's the Labor Department reported that employees shed 92,000 jobs in February, well below a gain of 59,000 jobs predicted. So,
oops,
wouldn't that be a swing? So basically minus 150 from what they're expecting?
Right.
150K.
Yeah, that's right.
The unemployment rate then rose to 4.4%, slightly higher than economists' expectations of 4.3. So yeah, and gas is going to go up. And so, yeah, war on Iran is great for the American economy. Awesome. But anyway, that's it. We're going to be like 70 degrees this weekend. So what do I care?
ExxonMobil will be good. Northrop Grumman will be fine. And isn't that really what we care about?
Yeah, that's all we care about, Ted. We just want to make sure and all the health companies, health insurance companies, their CEOs, make sure they're taken care of.
That's right.
So that's it. Have a great weekend, everybody. We're about to hit 70 tomorrow, Ted. Woo!
Woo-hoo! Enjoy.
Woo-hoo! We're gonna get sunshine finally. Like, I'm excited. Like,
this is a false spring, according to the experts. So
really?
Don't enjoy it while you've got it.
I don't know. They killed the Farmer's Almanac.
Next week, Polar Vortex is back.
Really?
Yep.
This fucking sucks. This sucks. All right. Enjoy one weekend of false spring, everybody. We'll see you on Monday, unless an asteroid hits us.
But it doesn't seem too likely.
Yeah, there might be something else that comes. I don't know. Maybe you can only hope for it, Ted.
It's true. Lord knows I do.
Amigos.
Bye.
Adios.
Bye, Manila.
Adios, all. Thank you. Bye.